Welcome everyone to Metsnets Jets the podcast. We're back for the divisional round of football this week. We have a four-game slate. DraftKings has blessed us with four games, and I'm going to break down those four games to you the best way possible to my liking. Hopefully, you find some gems in this video that I'll be giving to you as well. Last week I didn't do a video, but I did play. I was busy last week, but I was very successful in the wild card round. I threw 20 lineups in the NFL 25K quarter jukebox. This is just to help you with your process when you're making these lineups. This is what the professionals do. They throw in 20, 40, whatever the amount that's given for that tournament. In they'll throw that many lineups in that tourney. For this one, the max was 20, so I threw 20 lineups in it, and as you can see, 18 out of the 20 profited. So I got like four times or five times my buy-in from that $5 that I put in. As you can see, my best lineup right here from a quarter all the way to $6, which is pretty good. I had 86 place. I really focused in on Cam Newton and the Panthers because I thought they would win. I locked in Julio Jones because I knew for a fact that um, the Atlanta Falcons would take advantage of a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, and they did. And Julio Jones really stepped up against the Rams defense, which people were scared of, but this is Julio Jones. No man can guard him. There's only like a few wide receivers in the league that are just unguardable. Julio Jones is one of them, and we'll get into another later in the video. Um, so I really focused on Cam Newton, McCaffrey, and Julio Jones in most of my lineups. Another stack that I had, let's see if it pops up. Oh, wait, let me go back. Sorry. Let me go to history. I'm not gonna pull this back up. NFL, boom, is back. All right. So another one I focused on was Mariota. I don't know if he's gonna pop up. There you go. So I focused. My two main stacks was Mariota and Derrick Henry, and Cam Newton with McCaffrey stacks, and it paid off so well. So that was last week. Let's hopefully I can recreate my success this week. So the first game we got is going to be on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time. Atlanta Falcons going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, this is a tough game to read. This is the toughest game on the slate to read, I think. Philly is without Carson Wentz, obviously, and that just leaves the enigma that what kind of Nick Foles is going to show up, really. Um, Obviously, in Week 17, he didn't play much, but he didn't have that great of numbers in the time he did play. 4 for 11, one interception. But then he played a full game against Oakland Raiders in Week 16, only put up 9.52. So Foles, I'm trying to lean away from him. I probably won't play him as a quarterback per se. I'll probably lean more towards a Matt Ryan in this game, especially in this game stack. If you wanted to stack this game, Matt Ryan is my favorite quarterback in this game. You go back to the well with Julio Jones. This is the worst secondary in one of the worst secondaries in the league. Philly is a bad secondary. Tennessee is a bad secondary. So you want to pick on them when you can. Julio Jones should have another monster game because he's the best wide receiver, and as long as they get him the ball, he will produce. As you can see, 11 targets, 10 targets in the wild card game, and he got into the end zone finally. So I expect the Falcons, in my opinion, to win this game. I like the Mad Ryan Julio Jones stack. If you wanted to go with someone cheaper, I like Mohamed Sanu. And At away games, there's a little home road split for the running backs. I prefer Tevin Coleman, 400, who is really cheap. He had 14 carries last week, 3 catches for 28 yards. They're going to use him in the passing game just to exploit these linebackers that the Philadelphia Eagles have, which are good. But Tevin Coleman is that speed power combination with catching ability that is an X factor in this game. If I wanted to run this back now, on the opposite side, Philly, Foles. Let me see who he tends to like. Let's see Alshon Jeffrey lately. He really didn't do much in Week 17. That's obvious. He didn't play that many. Uh, he had 2 targets in Week 16 and 10 targets against the Giants, which was a great matchup. I'm kind of leaning more towards Nelson Aguilar, who's probably had more time with Nick Foles, especially as a backup quarterback. And let me put Aguilar in there as a cheap play for you guys. Let me see. Where is Torrey Smith? Wow, he's 3K. No one's going to be playing him. But if the Eagles have a chance to keep up with the firepower of the Atlanta Falcons, a deep ball to Torrey Smith, which is his like bread and butter, could be an option in this game. But I'll tend to just focus on Aguilar on the Philadelphia side for wide receivers and Jay Ajayi as well because they want to, limit the mistakes that Nick Foles make. They're going to need to utilize Jay Ajayi in the running game. He should get 20 carries so they can establish the run game. Really play more of a play action type game that play action opens up Zach Ertz as well. So this is a great game stack. You have tons of money left, 5,500. I like this lineup right here, just to get all the points in this game. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, but um, I think the Falcons will pull out this victory in the divisional round. Let's move on to this blowout. Tennessee versus New England. This is obvious. You play Tom Brady. You try to fit in Gronk, and at wide receiver, Chris Hogan is coming back, and I really like his prospects in this game. Coming back from injury, Chris Hogan was Tom Brady's favorite wide receiver when he was healthy during the regular season, and that should not stop in this divisional round. They're going to get him back acclimated and get him ready for the next round. There's no way that I see the Titans winning, but they will put up a fight. So before I get to the Titans, the running back situation for the Patriots all depends on these Q tags for Burkhead, James White, and Gillisley. They all say questionable, so you won't know until Saturday, until Saturday. So you have to wait on that news. But for now, if Burkhead, White, and Gillisley are out, you play Deion Lewis. If one or two come back, then that's when things get a little murky. You probably want to avoid the situation as much as possible, even though it's a 4-game slate. But if you want to attack and if you want to, roster a New England Patriots running back, wait for to tomorrow's news in the morning. It should come out. All right. To fire back against these New England Patriots, Mariota obviously is cheaper than Tom Brady. He's in a good spot just to try to keep up with the Patriots and try to fight, and try to win. Everyone's going to be on chalk cheap. Where is he? Eric Decker at 3,800. But I'll go back to the well to Rashard Matthews, who kind of let me down last week. He only had 2.5. But this is a bounce back game for Matthews, as well as Delaney Walker is a safety valve for Marcus Mariota. Um, Delaney Walker is not my favorite tight end. I haven't even said my favorite tight end yet. I can't wait to get to that part. I'm probably going to have him in like 80% of my lineups, even though, Gronk is a great play, but he's going to be chalk. I think I'm going to pay down at tight end so I can pay up at other spots this week. Um, so the main cogs for Tennessee are going to be Rashard Matthews and Delaney Walker. I Derrick Henry's price is ridiculous, but he should get the work. It was a weird situation where Casey just didn't show up in the second half, and Derrick Henry just like went crazy. So he's a viable play. I'm not gonna have too much of him, if any, because I like other running backs, but he's a fine play. So in this game, which should be more lenient towards the Patriots, I love Chris Hogan, obviously Gronkowski, and wait on the news for the New England Patriots running backs. But make sure you bring this stack back with Rashard Matthews or Delaney Walker, who are the favorite targets for Mariota, and I always give a punt play in each game stack. A punt play that I like would be Corey Davis in this game instead of Eric Decker. As you see, last game he had 7 targets. He caught 4 of them, 35 yards. If he got an end zone, he would have definitely reached value greatly. All right, so that's the stack for that game. Let's go on to my favorite game, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who everyone loves for some reason. They just swear that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to lose this game just because they beat them in the regular season and Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 interceptions. But that's okay. This is the playoffs, and the Jaguars have Blake Bortles. Let's not act like this guy is the next Steve Young or something. Like, Blake Bortles sucks. All right. It's cool. He had a great regular season, but don't forget that this guy is turnover prone. As you see, week 16, 3 interceptions, week 17, 2 interceptions. This guy is horrible. Blake Bortles will get, they're going to fluster him. Pittsburgh is a veteran team with veteran players on defense, and they're going to pull up a scheme that is going to force him to throw and make him make mistakes. So my favorite go-to stack of the whole slate will be Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers defense, and my favorite tight end play of the week. No, not Jesse James. Oh, I'm going real low. I'm going to Vance McDonald. Ever since he came over from the 49ers in that trade, every time these two guys are healthy, Vance McDonald leads the tight ends in targets and yards. Uh, just he's getting really acclimated with Ben Roethlisberger, as you see in Week 14 and Week 16. There was connection, 4 for 52, 4 for 52, back to back games. Week 15 was injured, and that's when Jesse James had his 10 catch game. But when McDonald is healthy, he is the guy. All right, week 17 doesn't count because he didn't play much, but this is my lock of the week. Vance McDonald is going to like destroy this value right here, 2,500. He's basically free, and he's going to get tons of targets with this Jacksonville secondary, who's going to be focusing on Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. But those underneath routes, Eli Rogers, Martavis Bryant, he might take the top off this defense. But Vance McDonald is going to be a huge chain mover in this game, him and Le'Veon Bell. If Le'Veon Bell's not getting dump off passes or running it up the middle, it's going to be check downs to Vance McDonald or up the seam. All right, I'm trust me on this. Le'Veon Bell. Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait. Um, Antonio Brown, obviously, he's an okay play. I prefer someone else over Antonio Brown. I didn't get to him yet. My favorite receiver of the weekend. Juju Smith Schuster should get some love. Obviously, he is a monster, but they're going up against a tough tandem. But the thing is, the Pittsburgh Steelers have too many weapons. They have too many weapons. There's Antonio Brown, who's almost near unguardable. There's Juju Smith-Schuster. There's Martavius Bryant. There's Jesse James. There's Vance McDonald. There's Le'Veon Bell. I could keep going on and on. This team is going to destroy the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be pissed to see, what happened in week 5. They're going to bounce back, and it's all set up for this rematch between the Pittsburgh and New England Patriots that everyone's been waiting for since the regular season game that happened a few weeks ago, and then last year that happened again when Le'Veon Bell just awkwardly left the game because he had a hamstring injury, and he just stood there for the rest of the game, just watched the Pittsburgh Steelers lose in the AFC title game. So, you know, just ignore that Jaguars talk. Just know what's going to happen is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win. I'm putting all my faith in Le'Veon Bell and Vance McDonald and the Steelers defense this week. To running back, don't touch Bortles. That's a trap. Fournette is iffy. If he didn't break that huge 99-yard run, he would have a very average day when he faced the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 5. Um, Uh, the only guy I really like in this game is probably Dede Westbrook, who is Blake Bortles' favorite target. So if they want to keep up with the Steelers, that he's gonna throw it to Westbrook or Allen Hurns or Keelan Cole. But the main target guy is Dede Westbrook. See, Hurns only had one target, and then Keelan Cole had one target. Like, let's see, Marquise Lee. Yeah, it was just basically Dede Westbrook that just took over. But I think this is a very one-sided game. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Steel Curtain this weekend. And then we got another game, the last and final game on Sunday at 4:40. This is where my favorite wide receiver is in this game. Uh, Minnesota is home. Minnesota will be hosting the Super Bowl this year. I think they might make it out of NFC personally. But uh, we saw what happened. Okay, the Saints played well at home. They always do. They're undefeated in home playoff games. But this is a problem. They're coming to Minnesota, a franchise who is like elated with what has happened with their team. Case Keenum has carried them to the playoffs despite all the quarterback injuries. And Minnesota is going to make a statement on who's the better defense. Let me be right back so I can get this charger. Hold up. All right, sorry about that. I thought I had enough battery, but obviously I didn't. But I'm back. Like I was saying, the Saints are going to be traveling to Minnesota, and Drew Brees is going to have a tough time. He's not going to throw all over the Minnesota Vikings defense, like he did against Carolina's pass defense, which is pretty much almost putrid. Um, this game, I can see more of a Mark Ingram type game. You need more of a bruising back to control this. I think they have answers for Kamara. Minnesota does, but Mark Ingram, who's cheaper, $2,200 cheaper, and gets more touches than Alvin Kamara, he's going to be more of a factor. This is another running back I like this week. Mark Ingram at 5,600 is at a great price point. Oddly, he's 5,600. This is an 8K guy. Look at this. The highest he was all year was 8,300. This is it. Excuse me, an 8K running back at 5,600, and everyone's going to be on chalk Alvin Kamara. No, just take your value. Take the guy who's going to get more touches, Mark Ingram is going to be the guy. Um, Also on New Orleans side, he's gonna Michael Thomas is gonna be seeing Xavier Rhodes coverage. He's one of the top cornerbacks in the league. The Saints doesn't don't really have that many options that Drew Brees tends to throw to. He tends to throw to Michael Thomas, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara sometimes, and then he'll sprinkle in one to Josh Hill, one to Willie Snead, and Ted Ginn might be a decent option to take on Trey Waynes as the opposite corner. If Brandon Coleman is out, Willie Snead might come into play and he might get a few more catches. But that's one of those punt plays I say always give in each game. So the guys I really like is going to be Mark Ingram, Ted Ginn. Michael Thomas is going to get his, but I don't see him going off. So he'll probably have a 10-point game at 7,200. I don't want that. I need more. I need more if I'm spending that much. And he's going to be facing an elite quarter in Xavier Rhodes. So let me go on the other side, my favorite side. My favorite wide receiver of the whole slate is going to be Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is a monster, and he won't be seeing Marshawn Lattimore coverage. He's going to eat up the New Orleans Saints in the slot, and he's going to go off like he did um, throughout the most of the season 25, 27, 33, 20, 18. Adam Thielen is going to destroy the Saints defense. I think personally, Keenum and Thielen have a great connection. They had a great connection in the beginning of the season, throughout most of the season, and then lately they just been throwing the dig so he can, get acclimated into the offense. He's been getting more love lately, but I think this is a perfect game that Thielen pops and goes for that 30 bomb that you need in your DK lineups. All right. So obviously in this game, I like Keenum. I like the Keenum Thielen combination. And if you wanted a tight end, Kyle Rudolph is a good option in this game. All right. So those are my picks for this week. If I had a few defenses to choose, obviously I like the Steelers defense. You usually should choose home defenses, okay? Especially in the playoffs. Minnesota is a good option. I think they can contain the Saints. The Steelers I love. New England is in a great spot against a subpar Tennessee Titans team. And then the other game, Atlanta versus Philly, is more of a coin flip. All right. So my favorite plays this week is going to be the Bell to Vance McDonald combination with the Steelers defense. I love Keenum to Thielen as well. Um, Julio Jones is in a great spot. I might have a little exposure to Antonio Brown, but not that much because he's going to be going up against Jalen Ramsey, and I think Le'Veon Bell controls that game more. But we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm gonna fire in the lineup Saturday morning, and I'll do a video next week. Good luck. God bless to everyone. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD and on YouTube at MetsNetsJetsD. Uh, I I made sure I had the same name in both. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video. See you guys next week. All right. Thank you.